TransTech Group. I'm here with Max. Max, you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Max Gressman, welding engineer for Metal Fortitude Transfer.
We're both here to record a couple of videos about being veterans and Military Appreciation Month. So I was in the Air Force for 12 years, then I transitioned to civilian life, worked for defense contractors for a while, about 30 years total in aviation before I came to the TransTech Group a little under a year ago. I enjoyed my time, learned a lot about aviation, aircraft, leadership, positive influences, negative influences, and I brought a lot of that with me to the current job that I'm in.
Marine Corps Reserve right out of high school and stayed in for 6 years as an electrician. Once I got out of that, finished my degree at Ohio State for welding engineering. And then I came down to the Gulf Coast to make as much money as I can.
Good answer. The best lesson I ever learned in the military was to take care of the people to the left and the right. I worked for some of the best leaders that I've ever had. Still talk to some of them weekly, some monthly, but they're there for me when I need to, and I'm there for them if they need anything. I've had multiple younger airmen that served under me and served with me that still contact me and I talk to. I learned a lot of what not to do too by making mistakes, but I had people that allowed me to fail without being a failure, continue to get better, be about the mission, be about the team. That's probably the greatest lesson I learned while I was in, was just that be about the mission and the team and not about yourself. Have that vulnerability and that humility to care about the overarching goal and not so much about Jay or what I need. It needs to be about everyone around me.
I want to say one of the biggest things that's actually helped me out here, or just in industry in general, it's just going to be pure diversity. So, small town Ohio, I went to boot camp Harris Island. I was with kids from the inner city. I was with kids from the south. I was with kids from the backwoods, and you just got to learn to all get along, complete the mission, and just set differences aside. And it's taught me how to work with people that are easy, people that are difficult, people that have their own agenda. Like you said, humility. If you don't have it, we will teach it to you. But I think that's helped me out the most here, because I work with customers. They're subject matter experts. I work with our shop floor, try to get welding procedures qualified. So it's a different layers of people with different experiences and knowledge and everything. So it's really helped me out to get through that.
That's awesome. I'd say one of the other things that's helped with my transition to TransTech is the core values of this company reflect well with the core values of what I had in the military. So Air Force, our core values were integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all that we do. They're not verbatim, the core values of our company with TransTech, but they all translate, right? If one of our first core value is safety, right? Well, if you have the integrity and you have that service where you're caring about the person to your left and your right, you're concerned about their safety. You're not going to let something go that's unsafe. You're not going to do that. And I still remember being in the Air Force and thinking, you know, I'm 22 years old. I'm signing off a pre-flight on a jet that a pilot's about to get into. He's not looking at the airplane. He didn't do any of this work. And I'm basically saying, yes, sir. You and your wife and your kids and everyone else can trust me to go fly this airplane over all of our houses, and that everything's going to be okay. It's a huge amount of, like, I'd say pressure, but in a good way. It was also a lot of trust, right? And I had to, again, be vulnerable enough to go, hey, I don't know. I've got something wrong. Somebody help me here. Made plenty of mistakes as a young airman and a young sergeant. I'm still making mistakes as a director now, but I'm always willing to go, hey, I made a mistake. And one of the best lessons I ever learned, old sergeant, old chief, Rick Hester. So if he ever sees the video, he knows what I'm talking about. Phenomenal guy. He lives in Carolina now. He pulled me aside one day and said, if you don't know something, the best answer you can give is, I don't know, let me go find out, and then actually go find out. Don't fake it. Don't pretend that you know the answer. Ask all the questions you need to. Pull the information out of those subject matter experts you mentioned earlier, right? Because these guys on the floor, the dudes welding in the field, the people in the offices working, they're the experts. They know way more than I'm ever going to know about this industry and the product, and so we have to go to them and ask questions. But that's a lesson I learned in the military, was to constantly go to the operator, because they know best what they need to do and how to build the product and build a team and take care of each other better than I ever will. But that transparency, that vulnerability, that humility to do that is, you maybe don't see it on the posters and the recruiting stuff, but that is really what's drilled into the military, is that you are a team. You're going to go on deployments, you're going to go on trips, you're going to have to take care of each other, you're trusting each other with your life. And once you can learn how to be open and say, I don't know, but then not just I don't know, let me go find out, and then have people that are willing to show you, teach you, grow, and then you're able to pass that on to others. That's been huge for me, and it's helped me in the rest of my career.
I'd say another one is just being able to get things done. So Marine Corps Reserve, we kind of get treated the same way. We get a lot of hand-me-down equipment, stuff that doesn't work, stuff that people got rid of when we inherited a lot of Army stuff that they just no longer want. They got new stuff. Able to make it work and able to complete the mission and get the job done. That helps here, but since I am now in quality, we look to have a little bit more quality than what we had out in the field than what we do here. So it's a higher standard of quality here, but it's that mentality of, oh no, we don't have it, we can't do it. It's find a way. Find a way, and then use our core values, and we're going to be able to put out a quality product for our customers. Thinking win-win and all that, because if we make quality, then we make money.
I think it's a great way to say it too, because it's a safe, compliant product on time to the customer. That's the same kind of thing we had to do in the military, right? We couldn't not fly the airplane. You can't not deliver to the customer, whether it's an internal customer or an external customer. They had to have what they needed on time the right way. All that translates to here. So if I'm thinking as, the guy who's been in the industry for a while and in this job for about a year, if I'm looking and I'm talking to a soon-to-be separating military member, no matter what branch you're in, and you're looking for something that translates to the kind of lifestyle that you know, we don't have a chow hall. You won't have to eat MREs. Two big positives, I think. But we do have all kinds of different opportunities, whether it's some field work and travel, or if it's being more in one place, doing the work that's in front of you, welding, program management, engineering, and everything across the board. But you'll be able to keep those same kind of core values, the same things that have made you successful in the military will translate well to this company. Everyone from our CEO, Jeff Lillen, down, I don't hear him talking a lot about, just go get it done, I don't care. You made a great point a minute ago. We get things done, and sometimes it's difficult, and sometimes we're, figuring out how to get it done, but it's always in a safe way that provides a compliant product on time to the customer and on budget. That's our job. So if you're out there and you're thinking about what do I do next, this is a company that you could transition to and bring your core values and your work ethic and your knowledge, and we're willing to put in the work to help train and show you something new, but that those things translate.
What else I've noticed too is sometimes you can go to higher ups, and depending on what your branch is and what the job is, hey, I want to go airborne, or hey, I want to go recon, special forces, or even something instead of just being, for me, I was an electrician, there's different layers to that. Hey, does this guy only push buttons? Can this guy actually break down a generator and fix it? So you can go to your superiors and just be like, hey, I'd like to learn how to do this. As of right now, we've got a couple of welders that are interested in becoming CWIs. So it's like, okay, hey, I am a CWI. Let me run you through the process of how that's going to work, what you're looking forward to, so that they can grow with the company itself. So I think the company allows us that ability to do that.
I think it's a really good point too, because there's this kind of tenet of leadership called individualized consideration, where you know your people and you know their goals, but you also know the company that you're in, and you know what the company needs out of that person. And so you're able to help them develop and reach their goals at the same time that they're able to meet the company's goals. And everybody gets what they need out of it. People feel satisfied in their job. The first time I learned that was in the Air Force. I had a sergeant who actually cared enough to show me how to do something, but explained to me, hey, if you're wanting this promotion, or if you're wanting to switch from, phase dot crew chief to flight line crew chief, or whatever it is, having this qualification, whether it's a CWI or a program management qualification or a lean qualification and whatever, we have people in this company that'll take the time to show you what that is, spend the time with you, train you. We're always looking for people to get better, to learn more, to be more of a help in the company, whatever that is. And so if you come in and you see, hey, this is where it's at, I've already pivoted 3 or 4 times in the first year on what I thought the goals of this new position I was in were created for. Every single time I've had the backing of everyone in the ELT and the board to go, if that's what you think the right move is, let's go do it. Don't lose what we were doing, but let's make that pivot. And I think being in a company that's growing aggressively, but still small enough to have that flexibility, that kind of that autonomy that you don't get a lot of places.
So for me being hired on as a welding engineer, usually either chained to a desk or out here in the shop qualifying something, TransTech recognized, hey, this guy's good at his job. He uses several different welding processes. we have a need in McGregor, TransTech company, group, and they're like, hey, we'll send you to McGregor, we'll help out there on any problems or issues they may have with welding and materials and joining, and I was able to go out there, help them out, and possibly do more groups in the future as well. So yeah, there's things and opportunities that come about that TransTech provides that everybody can do as well if you want to.
Yeah, it's a good way to say it. If you're motivated, if you care about what you do, if you have that safety first, quality compliant mindset, that you just want to go get stuff done, that's what we do.